Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 29 of the Dungeon Lore series. In this series, I hope to expand upon things you might not know about Final Fantasy XIV dungeons, as well as discuss their individual stories and lore. This episode's dungeon is the hard mode version of the Wanderer's Palace. From our original foray into the palace, we learned that it was once a temple made in honour of Oshon, the Wanderer, a patron deity of the Nemean civilization. Although the place was turned into what is in essence a prison for those affected by the Green Death, a horrid disease with no cure that turned its victims to tonberries, the symbols representing the Wanderer still remained in the halls. Adventurers eventually visited the place to explore its rooms, resulting in the defeat of the Tonberry King that claimed the palace for him and his brethren. After his defeat, the Tonberries began to turn much more amiable towards outsiders, particularly Surito Kurito, who helps experienced scholars progress their knowledge of healing. The Warrior of Light speaks with Blozong and Mordona, who appears to have yet another job for us regarding the Wanderer's Palace. We are sent to speak with two treasure hunters at Camp Bronze Lake, where we find out the pair in question are the same two we saw gravely injured by the large Tonberry near the entrance of the palace. They state plainly that their request asks us to enter the place again, and explain that after their injury, they thought the Tonberries would finish the job, only to find their wounds being treated by the very same creatures. We learn here that the aggressive nature from the Tonberries was due to a curse from the Tonberry King, and that since the latter fell, the rest returned to their original selves. After being nursed to health by the friendly and kind amongst them, there were a handful of peaceful days for the Tonberries and the treasure hunters. But after this, a large band of Mamulja, one of Eorzea's many beast races, swept the place, calling themselves the Silver Scales and enslaving the Tonberries into their service. The treasure hunters go on to say that although they'd love to boot the Mamulja out of the place, the sheer number of them is too much to handle, and so they send the Warrior of Light to speak with Abazi Karazi on the shore of the Bronze Lake, who himself voices his disagreement with the capturing of the Tonberries, even given their previous aggressive actions, and wishes us give the Mamulja hell, as we drive them out of the once grand structure. Entering through the same archway as we did once before, we spot a Tonberry outside the gate, wondering if we're here to help or hurt them. And as we head through into the first hallway, we can see the wooden structures of the Mamulja on either side, along with wooden brackets lit with a torch. We see one of them Mamulja charge forth at a Tonberry attempting to rest, and after its defeat, we head forward to find yet more Tonberries trying to hide from their enslavers, as they chase their fellows for recapture. After proceeding through and rescuing a third Tonberry, we defeat more Mamulja until we reach Still Waters, where we find a huge beast being ridden by Frumius Kahil Jar. During the fight, the rider and the beast both use abilities on the party. Kahil Jar himself throws spears at the party, with Fire Angon doing damage at random, and Blazing Angon throwing down a spear, which after a while will explode with a fiery blast. The beast itself can charge at a party member, using its horn to push them away. Upon defeat, we can proceed through to the Long Hall, where, along with more Silver Scale troops, we find strategically placed standards providing boons to the nearby Mamulja. Heading up the stairs, we defeat another troop of enemies and proceed into the Endless Rise. However, this time the upper section containing the Nemean devices is barricaded off by the Mamulja. It's also worth noting that as the Silver Scales are attempting to put the Tonberries to work, the machinery in this area is all functioning properly once again, with the pulley lifts rising from the depths of the lake. Instead of heading up the stairs as we previously did, we head to the left and defeat the remainder of the troops stationed in the corridor, breaching the defensive line and making our way to the final ease, where we find the source of the magical standards in the form of Slithy Zalul Ja. During this fight, the shaman-like foe will call upon several more of its sacred standards, 4 to be exact, each with a different effect if touched by a party member. The tricky part here is that the colours vary with every encounter of Zalulja, meaning that the party must determine the correct colour to give the boon to themselves, instead of the very dangerous banner that erodes resistance to fire, of which the boss uses plenty amidst the summoning of banners. He uses fire and fire spit upon the tank, dealing severe damage, as well as using its ground burst to instantly explode a party member. After this, we head through to the final stretch of the palace, and once again, instead of proceeding up the stairs, we are forced to turn left, past more troops and down through a hole in the nearby wall, which leads us to Asylum, the makeshift prison being used to trap many of the Tomberries. The party must defeat the warders here and free the Tomberries with the key, after which the now freed creatures open a hidden door, leading us to the Bellows, an area completely covered in ooze thanks to the slime creature wandering the hallway. After defeating it and its spawn, we can turn the drainage valve to proceed over to the now revealed walkway and use the Nimian device to open the nearby door. And after defeating the final set of troops, the nearby gate opens and we come face to face with the Silver Scales leader. An enormous, two-headed Mamulja, Manshome Malajaja, steps forth from the shadows and attacks the party. During the fight, the Mamulja leader has a varying array of close and long-range abilities. It uses its rushing slash to damage the tanking party member, and its tyrannic blare will catch long-range party members out if too far away. When injured, the beast uses its rot gas, inflicting poison to any caught within, as well as its vorpal wheel, which will cause any affected by the gas to explode. Manshome's signature move is Soul Douse, which damages and places a curse upon a party member, and unless fully healed they will become incapacitated. Finally, the Mamulja uses yet more of the standards to empower itself. The Sacred Standard, unlike the previous iteration, cannot be removed, so the party must do what they can to pull the Mamulja away. And while the Sacred Idol in comparison empowers Manshome from anywhere, the party can damage the idol to remove its magics. Upon defeat, the Mamulja leader collapses, and while beginning to celebrate their victory, a swarm of Tomberries rushes past the Warrior of Light to finish the job with their knives. After this, we return to the treasure hunters who thank us for seeing the Tomberries saved, and one believes that they truly deserve succor after being subject to the rancour of their captors, and that the Tomberries in particular have known their share of hard times. They then prepare to have a reunion with the once again free Tomberries, and thank us once more. And that's the end of the story and lore of the hard mode version of the Wanderer's Palace. A band of so-called mercenaries, enslaving those who remain from the Nimian civilization, albeit in their green cloaked forms, and saved once more thanks to the Warrior of Light and the pair of kind-hearted treasure hunters. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more Final Fantasy XIV lore, and I'll see you next time for the hard mode version of Amdapor Keep.